Hello, okay, now we get to work with traditional tools. So we have different size traditional tools here, and I can show you. I have them all here lined up. So we have extra fine to heavy in the wooden ones with copper, and then plastic ones with a metal top. And then a wire on a stick tool to use to unplug the tips if there's dust or debris in there. We have black dyed wax and just regular clear wax, and they have a little bit of a bloom on them from just being older. There's nothing wrong with them, and it doesn't really matter. You can see the regular beeswax gets dyed from the soot, so you don't necessarily need to get the black wax, but it's a little easier sometimes when that happens, just to buy it with the coloring already in it. So I have a series here that I do every year to show people how it goes, and I have some cast-offs from other people who thought, oh, I started this but it got way too complicated. My mom was starting to make this beautiful egg, but then she just realized it's way too much, way too many lines, and just too much for her first egg, so she let me use it as an example. So start off by plugging the hole, and let me get another egg. I don't know why I don't have one ready. Here. And use your heaviest tool. Okay, I'm going to put you down here so you can see a little bit better right in my flame. So we put the tool right over the candle flame. You can put it in the flame, but you don't want it to burn. It has been burnt a little bit from past students, but just enough. You can look inside the cone, the copper cone, to see is the wax melting. And usually we don't like drips. This is actually my second take. I dripped and not. Ooh, I got a drip, I got a drip. Oop, there's a big drip. Happy accident. We're gonna have to incorporate that somehow. My last egg, I got a big old drip on it and went the complete wrong direction. So now, another thing I had forgotten last time was I'm going to sign the egg. What I like to do nowadays is just put the year and and my initials on it so that I remember, oh, what year did I make that? So I encourage you to do that right away at the bottom of your egg. Or maybe this is the top and you're going to hang it. Oh, there's another drip. Man, sometimes these traditional tools, it's really hard to gauge how hot they're getting. One thing I recommend too is, if you have these traditional tools, take a minute, practice on paper with the wax. Practice drawing, like what angle do I need to hold it at? How hot do I need to get it? Like how long do I need to keep it in the flame? What does it feel like to actually, oh, big old drop. Okay, writing my name again. W for Michelle Weber. And I'm just going to try and put a 20. 20. Phew! Did it! It's nice to have another little tray for where you rest your tools. A little ceramic tray is nice. Sometimes I rest it on the side of my candle holder. It gets a little waxy. We also have like pill minder rings, bottle caps here to hold the eggs or your tools. Those work fine as well. Because sometimes if you put the hot tool right onto your paper or your paper towel that you have to protect your egg in case it falls a little bit, it sticks to that once it dries and it's really hard to get up. So I'm going to use the these other tools too to show you. But so that's how you do the hole in the egg. So get a big old drop if you can. If it's not working, try and get a little bit more wax. You don't want to get too much, so it looks like mine. But go around the outside of the hole slowly until the whole thing fills in. Okay, hopefully that helps. Try and use a big, heavy Kiska, the tool. So you got the hole filled. Now right on your egg so lightly that you can barely see it here on the video. Okay, we've just put these into fourths. I don't know if you, so I have a circle around the top and the bottom, and we've divided it up into four, so 4 sections. You can do that with your egg too. Sometimes using a rubber band helps to have that line to guide you, or a flexible measuring tape can help as well. Sometimes I find them just fiddly, so I do my best at just eyeballing it. There's craft lathes, and I can show in another video how to use that. And then, oh crap, I cracked that one. Draw on the symbols that you want just really lightly. So here I have a star, a leaf, a flower, and a fish. And so the first part would be coloring over what you want to be white. So I wanted these to all be white, and I can show you how I did that on this egg, okay? I will take the medium one, put it in the flame. I see the wax inside melting a bit. I'm gonna practice a little bit so I get this. Now, I'm gonna have this out. So, what I wanted to be white, I'm gonna start with my fish. And keeping the tool perpendicular to the egg is usually the best way to get the wax to come out of the tool evenly. You don't have to follow your lines super well. And I'm going to do a white eye, and then air bubbles coming up. And on my star, I wanted to have all of these basic lines be white. So I like to rotate the egg instead of having to go at funny angles. It helps me keep it accurate. And I might need to go back and get some wax in a second here. I think so. So I heat up the tool so that it just melts right in to the reservoir. And then I can just go for a little while it's still hot. I don't have to keep going back and forth as much to the flame. So that's one advantage of these more modern ones. They do stay hotter longer, just a little bit. Okay, so that was my star, and for my leaf, did you see it? Sorry. Hope this is helpful to see. It's hard to teach when I can't see you and get your feedback from your body language and your faces. So I want the center piece of it there, and the outline of my leaf. Little spiral, little wiggle on that side. And I see a fingerprint on here, and I wonder if I touched the wax one year, because I use these year to year and just kind of start a new egg and keep the process going. Okay, da-da-da-dum. And in my flower, I want the center to be white, and I've drawn the flower. I don't know if you can see that. And I don't want the petals to be white, but I would like just to have there be little accents. With sound effects. Okay, so we're just about ready to go over to the dye bath. Although, I think I want to do these lines too. So I like to rotate the egg. I kind of like to keep my tool in the same spot and then rotate the egg underneath me. So this is where the craft lathe comes in really handy. Although I find getting it perfectly lined up to finish the circle is very hard, so I end up using the craft lathe more for spirals or for initial circle work. I just realized I'm going the other way there and I don't like rotating that direction as much. I'm going to rotate towards myself. Ta-dum. Okay, there we go. So I have everything covered that I want to stay white. Now I bring this over, hopefully you can see me, to my yellow dye. And, oops, I close them while they're hot, so unseal it, and stick it in, and use my spice jar with water to weight it in there a little bit. And I don't really need it to be super dark, but whoa, it's really full. Okay. You can have it be as dark as you want. And you don't need to have a spoon for every single color or a spice jar for every single color if you don't want to. I find it just makes it easier to have one for each. Now if the dyes are left open for a long time, the vinegar kind of evaporates, and you can freshen it up with vinegar if you come back to this in a week or two or something. Ooh, I'm getting yellow all over my hands. So let me get a paper towel. You can leave it on your tray to dry. If there are little blots of dye, those will dye darker. So sometimes I just take the egg and blot it really gently and then go to the next color. So beautiful. Now I already have one that was dyed yellow. So I want to see, what did I want to dye yellow now? I didn't really do much on that one, so I will leave this one as the yellow and we'll keep working on this. So I've already added little yellow dots. I think I want my fish to be yellow, so I'm going to use the heavy one so I can fill in my fish. So adding colors in this style of egg painting is a little counterintuitive unless you're a watercolor artist, because you have to think about, like, what do you want to be lightest first. You can't usually go back and add white. You can use vinegar just to take off all the dye colors if you want. I'm going to do more dots on the bottom here too. Be a little symmetrical. Tuk, 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 tuk. I don't know about you, sometimes I like listening to music, but I find that just having the silence in my art and a little scratching on the egg can be nice. Although I've been listening a lot to podcasts lately. I don't know what you've been doing to stay sane here in this crazy time, but hopefully this will be a nice project for all you guys out there. Okay, so I just filled in my fish. Maybe I'll do a little tail, a little yellow tail. I want my flower petals, or at least the insides of them, to be yellow. Yeah, I'll just do the insides yellow. So I'm using the heavy tool to fill in larger spaces. Hopefully you can see this. I can come a little closer, I suppose. I don't know if it's in focus. Or how to do this at this angle. I don't want my leaf to be yellow, but I do want some yellow in my star. So, whoa, big old one. I'm gonna let that cool off just a little bit. And I almost extinguished my flame. Ah, it's all merging. I'm just gonna do, I didn't check and see what I'm supposed to be doing here. What I've already, oh, I don't think I had anything done yet with that. I'm not the best at following patterns. Some of you know this about me. I like to do my own thing sometimes. Okay, so I have a lot of wax on this side, so what I can do is use the hot tool to pull it over as well. That's one advantage of these traditional tools. Well, it's traditional style. This one's a little bit more modern. Okay, and then I think I'd like a dot here in yellow. Because why not? Make it really fancy and interesting. Okay, I guess I should do some yellow on my leaf. I'll just do some details on the inside. Okay, beautiful. So now I go and dye it orange. So pretend I go and put it in the orange dye bath, and then I come back, and then, ta-da! It's orange! So now I want to cover up what I want to be orange, and so I've done this before. So I filled in more of my petals. On this one year, I did these spirals on the ends. I created a sun pattern. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. If it goes in focus, I guess not. On the top there, my leaf, I filled in a little bit more. Okay, so that's done. So then I'm gonna go to well, let's check this. So there is a helpful color dye chart of what order you can do these traditional dyes in. So it starts yellow, well, white first, obviously yellow, gold, light green. So I already went out down here to orange, so it'll probably be harder to go back to light blue or turquoise, but I could do a pink, a red, a purple, or like a dark blue or green to cover up the orange. And what's beautiful about these colors is if I add this and blue, it's not going to turn some sort of crazy brown. It's going to be a beautiful blue, but I think I'm going to do a red and then a blue. Okay, so we go and get a red. I'm going to do scarlet. Ooh la la. Now I'm just going to hold it in with my spoon. Ta-da. I don't have my other spice jars filled with water yet. And I check it every once in a while. See how the egg is dying in there. What color I want it to be, and if you leave it in there for a long time, it gets a really beautiful saturated color. Okay. just realized I have my fur here, my white fur on the back of the chair. Well, that's a little dangerous with these guys. Okay, so I'll do one more little design on this and then a final background color, okay? Beautiful red there. I think that'll be the final flower color, final fish color. Ooh, I shouldn't use these ones. I'm gonna go show you my favorite kind of tools, the electric tools. So the electric ones stay hot the entire time. And I have them plugged in over here. And I have a few different sizes, which is kind of nice. Because then I don't have to change out the tips all that often. They come on, you see that dark hole in the end there? They come with a little hex key that you use to tighten and unscrew this, and then these tips fall out. I have them organized here by size. And 0 is a super fine one. I have that in. This is a 1 size, which is also fine. It goes up to 4, which is the heavy size. And this type of writing tool, you don't usually use the block of wax because that gets quite messy. You use this black spaghetti wax, and it's always dyed black from my Ukrainian gift shop supplier guy. You just stick it in there and kind of melt it off to the side. And it's ready to go. These don't drip as much as the other ones do. They can, but then you just go. You don't have to hold it over a flame. Don't have to worry about it getting too hot and the wax being too drippy. It's always the right temperature. And you just go. I find this creates the smoothest lines for me. A red leaf? Let's do it. Okay. Well, no, I'm gonna show you how to do spot dyeing. So we'll do a green on that one, okay? I'm going to keep going here on my sun. I'm gonna flesh out this pattern a little bit on the top here. I don't know if you can see it all. If you do have any questions, if something that I have been saying does not make any sense or it's really not working for you, please do feel free to reach out via email, gai-mn.org. It's on the website too. Yeah, let me know what's going wrong or what's going right or something that you've really enjoyed of the process. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so there I've got my sun, and I'm going to get a little bit more wax. Again, put it into the top, kind of melt it off to the side. It gets this little piece at the end, and drop it in. Yeah. These are my favorite styles. Okay, I'm going to do some broken lines here. I suppose it would be best to measure how long each line is supposed to be before I'm drawing it, but as you know, I don't necessarily like to just sit and plan that out. I like to just go and do it. And there are some artists who really plan out everything so mathematically, and they have gorgeous eggs, and I don't think I could ever do those. I would really have to focus, but what is your favorite style? I want to know. Okay. Leaf, I'm going to do that, and this I'm going to fill in. This one is going to look different from the one I just did on the yellow, but that's okay. Okay. Here it comes, nice and thick. And I sometimes go over the same spot with these metal tips because the metal tips just melt it all together so that I know that there won't be any holes and speckling in the shape that I want to be completely covered. Because as I said before, once the wax is somewhere, it's not coming off again. So yeah. I'll do the little fins this color too. That'll be cute. I think I might do a blue background, although black backgrounds just pop, so maybe I'll do that. This top I might do a star. Yeah. Kind of with points to every break that I had in my line. A dot around in each spot. There. Yeah, so sometimes my designs just kind of happen organically. Did we sign this one? I don't remember. Uh-oh. Have you signed your egg yet? You can sign it in any color that you want, no matter what layer you're on. I find it easiest to sign in a fine point with a fine point tool. So I'm going to do it up here, and hopefully it won't be as splotchy as before. So, my tool is not tight, so you'll get to see me here using the hex key. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we go, nice and tight. W 2020. I kind of want to write like Corona, COVID-19 or something on one of the eggs, just for posterity's sake. I'm gonna do teensy weensy little fine dots between these dots too, and that'll show up. It'll be really cute. And on this side too. Keep it even. Oops. I put a dot on top of another dot. Not gonna see that. I'll just melt the wax a little bit more. Okay, so for the next step, I'm going to show you how to do just a single spot of color, so you don't have to dye the whole egg if you only want like a little dot of something. Okay, I'm just going to nestle you down in here between